Hello, you're watching Tulipswift. I don't know if I'm splitting this into multiple videos, but if I do, this is the second video, and I'm gonna review 50 Shades Darker. Right off the bat, I'm like, oh, plot! And I knew I would like this one better. So also at the beginning, we not only get a plot, we get an antagonist. His name is Jack Hyde, which, I mean, I'm just saying that's the coolest name ever. And Jack is like, starts with a J, like James. Christian comes back and he's like so broken. He's so like Edward in New Moon. And he's like, I'll do anything, I'll be right for you. Like, it will be totally different. I can't be without you. Which is just bullshit, because he always has to be in control. And like the whatever you want and like it'll be okay is just so not true, and I could like smell it. And like, you know, he can't change. By the end of the series, he like makes some compromises, but he doesn't change. Layla is such a cool character, and I really like how she like contrasts Anna, and you can see like what his previous relationships were like. I don't like her in the movie, and I swear to God they call her Leela in the movie, but I'm not quite sure. So she's like this suicidal girl that like used to be Christian's sub, but like he left her. In the movie, Layla looked like she was like 15, and that was super uncomfortable. I think she was like on drugs or something, and she's like really small. So I really hate so much of this book is Anna in her like new company that she just got a job in, and Jack Hyde is her boss, who's like creepy and always coming on to her. What I really hate is so much of this book is them fighting over her having her own career. He just doesn't see the point in that, and he's like, oh, that's so cute, you out in your stupid writing job. And like, I get where she's coming from. Like, she's not gonna spend her whole life and go to school and like be working towards one life and just like sit around and like be your little doll. Like, no. Christian buys the entire company that she works for, and he has no idea why that bothers her. And it's so much worse when he like won't apologize, and he's like, what's wrong? Like, what did I do? Like, I'm just trying to protect you, blah 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 blah. So Christian has this backstory of when he became involved in the BDSM lifestyle. When he was 15, his mother's friend Mrs. Robinson became his dominant, like an older woman. She's like maybe 30 or 40 at the time. He has to do like whatever she says, and it's like the whole BDSM scenario. And he was like really broken, and he came from like, he was an orphan and stuff. He was adopted like in Twilight. He always says that like Mrs. Robinson saved him, and he found the only way that he could like survive was through this lifestyle. But Anna the whole time just sees her as manipulative, and she sees the whole thing as inappropriate because he was a child. And I love that, and I love that she's like always in the right, and she's using her own mind, and she like can call bullshit on him like whenever, and she's like, I can't believe that woman did that to you. And he's like, no, like she made me who I am. But no, it's like all shades of fucked up. All right, Edward and Bella get married pretty fast in Twilight, but shit, man, it's quick here too. He's like, will you marry me? And I'm like, bitch, we just met. There was some actual storytelling in this book, and there was like dark things that weren't just Christian being a dick. There was like conflict and tension and other characters. I would have to say 50 Shades Darker, the best work of E.L. James. I would say it's almost a book. No, I'm just kidding. It was fine. I think I gave it like 3 stars. So Grace is Christian's mother. She finds out at a party from overhearing Christian and Mrs. Robinson speak that like Mrs. Robinson was like fucking her son when he was 15. And she's like the family friend. I love it because Grace, like, we don't ever know that much about her. She's like good, but like I just inserted Esme into her because that's like her corresponding character. Grace got so protective, and I was just like, Esme will not hesitate, bitch. Okay, the second book's better, but I like the first book when she's like, bitch, don't treat me like that. And then she's like, I will leave you. And then she leaves him. Like, that was great. I love that. But, you know, second book, you're like, all right, they're gonna be together. Book number 3. So we start the third book on their honeymoon. They're like fighting on their honeymoon. They're always fighting. They're fighting through the whole series. But it's just so like two-faced. Like, they're fighting and he's treating her like shit, and then 2 pages later she's in love with him. She can never leave him. Once they're married, she goes back to work, and she doesn't change her last name to Gray, and this is a huge fight that they have. It ends with her changing it, and she's like, okay, fine, I'll change my name. And it's over and over again, and I'm so sick and tired of it, because every time she does something, she has to think about like what he would say or what he would do, and it's just like, why would he want to live like that? Because like the whole series, you don't know like what his trauma was. He has like parts of himself that like she can't touch. I think it's just like here and like his entire middle, but like she can touch his like shoulders and his hair. He has like triggers, and then like she's like, get over it, and he's like, anything for you. And like that was like weird. Am I out of focus? The book really started with he's crazy and she leaves him, but then they just keep working and working and working on this relationship, and it hurts me because it's killing both of them. And like whatever, like she's always like, I'm stronger and better than ever before, and he's like seriously doing way better, like no doubt he's doing better. She's like in love with him, but I don't see her life improving except financially. So that's the tea. Now they're married, and honestly, you could cite some progress with his control issues, but I would just say it's not enough, and it's never going to be enough because he's not going to change. I don't care like what he gives her or how much he apologizes, because he like always apologizes. He knows like what she doesn't like, but he just keeps fucking doing it. I think bottom line, he's an abuser. At the beginning, I had a lot of hope and optimism, and it felt very contrary to the non-consensual things I've been reading online. I think he is an abuser, and he treats her with abuse the entire series. But I think she really has thought like deeply about this, and she feels that she can't be without him. She's in love with him, he needs her, she needs him, and she really confronts everything, every part of the picture, which was interesting to me. But the thing was that she ended up with him. But the problem is that it's such a bad, twisted message to give people reading this book, is that like you can change him or you can wait for him to change, because that's never the case. That's definitely what Anna does. And you could say like she did leave him in the first book, but I feel like both of their intentions the entire time was to save the relationship instead of save themselves. Damn, okay. I just said something so smart, and it's gonna be like in the end of the video and no one's gonna hear what I said. One thing we really gotta talk about is, so she gets pregnant in the third book, and it's like seriously not planned. And Christian goes crazy. I feel like this is their biggest fight, and it hurt me so much because I feel like a trope in like, especially TV and movies, is like even if like they disagree and like the boyfriend or the husband or the fiance like doesn't want kids, like he's always like happy when he finds out that she's pregnant. But in 50 Shades, she's like so scared to tell him. She's like scared for herself, for her unborn child. He explodes. Like it's the biggest fight they've ever had. It's really rough. So in the middle of their fight is when there's this kidnap situation. Jack Hyde, back from the dead, hi sisters. In Twilight, I think it's reminiscent of James taking Bella's mother, but in 50 Shades it was Christian's sister, and it wasn't like fake, like Jack Hyde actually like had her hostage. So Anna has to get all this like millions of dollars out of the bank and meet him to save the sister. So this is what happens, y'all. She like has to sneak out because she's not allowed to like leave the building or whatever, and there's like security guards. She goes to the bank and she brings like huge bags, and she's like, I need like $5 million in cash from my husband's bank account. And then she shows them her ID, but her ID doesn't say Gray on it. They're like, oh, like, can we call him just to make sure like you're who you say you are? And she's like, no, like you can't call him. And she like pulls some strings, and it's like she's gonna get the money. Then when they find out how much money that she needs, and that it's in cash, and that it's immediately, and she has these big bags, it like literally looks like she's about to hit the road and like run away from him, which is like, you know, what we all wish would happen. They end up putting him on the phone, and he's like, let me speak to Anna. Oh my gosh. So then she's on the phone with him, and she has to lie to kind of like get him off her back so she can save his sister. So he's like, Anna, just tell me like one thing, like, did you ever love me? And like all this shit. And she's like, yeah, like I did, like it's just not gonna happen. And I was like, oh my god, she was like, she did not even like wince. She was like, bitch, like we're breaking up. She took his money and she left. And it was like my fantasy situation. But of course it's all for show. She gets the money to them. She ends up shooting Jack Hyde, but he lives. And then Christian finds her on the ground like dying, and then she gets put in the hospital, and then she wakes up in the hospital, and it's it's like all of this is like still Twilight because like she wakes up in the hospital at the end of Twilight. Really quick before we go, I just want to touch on some of the things in the films. The films were huge and extravagant. They also felt like the books where they were just kind of empty of plot and such, and I think it was very like convenient because they like just translated it in a way that like so much of the films were montage. The montages were like cool. It's just them like eating out, having conversations. What I hated about the movies is that they're always whisper talking. They all just both talk really quiet, and that was also like very Twilight. The production value is amazing. Like they had so much money. Like they're making so much money off of these movies, and they used it and they made it beautiful, and he's like rich and like they could do so much, and that was really fun to watch like on the screen. Like I was so entertained by that. Dakota Johnson like eats up the spotlight. Her character's like shy and timid or whatever, but like has like a heart of gold. She's headstrong, and she can really like, I feel like Dakota Johnson was like meant to be a movie star. Like I really feel it when she's like on the screen, and I feel like she really captures the attention. Jamie Dornan, not a fan. I didn't think he was cute. He had like a baby face, and I really was not attracted to him, so that was lame. In the book, I was really picturing Christian as the guy from the Blank Space music video with Taylor Swift. I guess I'm totally open to making more videos on this in the future, because I'm saying that because I feel like there's so much I forgot to say, and I'm really curious what you guys want to know about 50 Shades of Grey, because I'd love to tell you more. Like sometimes I was just so surprised when it was just like, oh, they're just like, this is very normal, this is like every YA, and then something would happen and I'm like, this is not like anything I've ever read. Why is this happening? This is weird. I don't understand this. You find out by the end like how come he's like a dominant, and why all of his submissives had brown hair and were small. It's because they all looked like his mother. There's always more darkness to uncover with him. Again, I don't know how many videos this is gonna be. I hope you guys don't hate it. I feel like I never know if something's gonna get like thousands of views or just like 20 views on my channel, because it's really one or the other. So thank you so much for watching. I love you so much. Bye.